just finished a full body training session. I've been doing full body for, I would say, maybe 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks right now. And I've got some updates on it. Pros and cons of it. What are the pros? The pros are potentially more muscle mass over time because there's more stimulus. There's more frequent stimulus, basically. So I'm doing full body every other day. I'm not doing every Monday. Could be an off day, or a Monday could be an off day, or it could be a training session. I'm not doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then taking the weekend off. It just, however it turns out, every other day. And once in a while, it might be 2 days off or something like that. And then I'll get back onto the every other day full body routine. So what I do is, let's just say on one training session, I will do legs first, and then I'll do upper body second. And then 2 days later, I'll do upper body first, and then lower body second, so that I'm not prioritizing or neglecting body parts when it comes to how focused I am. Or, I mean, the truth is you're going to be a little stronger if you do upper body first, or if you do legs first. It doesn't mean you still can't progress that body part if you do it after legs. You just might not take as big of progressions as if you were doing it first, which makes sense, right? At some point after the first exercise, the second, third, fourth, fifth, they're going to take a little bit of a hit. That's just how it goes. But you can still progress it. You don't just throw in the towel after the first one. It's like, oh, well, it's over. So you have to reconfigure your mindset when it comes to full body training. You have to reconfigure it and understand that the pump is not your number one indicator if you progressed or not. Ideally, you're going to micro load your sets, or I guess you could take rep progressions on it as well. It's just going to be a lot more difficult, and you might run into a wall eventually, because adding a rep to a set of 10 is much more difficult than adding a small amount of weight to that set of 10 and then doing 10 reps with that same weight. If you did the percentage load that you're actually doing more. So it could be a little unrealistic to try and add reps. So unless you're taking your body weight up at a pretty good rate, but at some point probably going to stick to the same amount of reps, just adding weight. You know, here and there you back down the weight, take an extra rep and rebuild it. But let's get back to the pros. So pros is more stimulation, potentially. Are there any other pros? Another pro is that you can train arms every single time you come to the gym. That's another one. For most guys out there, you know, they like to always get there's a different mindset coming into legs versus when you come in and you get to do arms or upper body or chest and tricep, back bicep, whatever, you know? It's different. It's just different. And that might be the two pros that I can think of at the moment. The negatives would be you have to reconfigure your mindset to understand that it's not about the pump. You can get a good pump off one set if you really focus and drive the tension into that muscle group and take it to that last rep where you barely get it up. So, but you just might not get a massive pump. That might take a couple sets or a couple different angles to really fill out that muscle group, you know? But today, for example, I did a set of dips with a 30-pound dumbbell in between my legs, right? And really attacked the set. And I got 10, I believe. It's definitely not super slow. It's not fast. It's controlled but aggressive. And at the end, I had a pretty big pump. I was surprised, actually. So you can still get a pump. But the negative is that it might not be a crazy pump as if you did a couple different sets of different angles or of that same exercise, if that's how you train. Are there any other negatives? yeah, the other negative is that you are in the gym for a longer period of time. So my workouts before, when I was doing a push-pull leg routine, was closer to an hour, probably 1 hour. And now it's more an hour and a half. My sessions are about an hour and a half is what it seems to turn out to be. But I'm cool with that, even though in the past I probably wouldn't be. I was married to this idea that anything past 45 minutes or an hour, that HIIT style training idea, short and intense. I didn't really want to go more than that in the gym. So, but now I'm okay with being in the gym for an hour and a half. I don't really want to be in the gym longer than that. Focus eventually goes down. So, but I'm still able to get good sets in at the end. So, yeah, I guess that's the biggest negative, is that you're in the gym longer. But is that really a negative? I think an hour and a half probably is somewhere around the maximal amount. I guess you could be in the gym for 2 hours if the session is still good, but at some point, you're not going to be able to perform as well. So take that into consideration if you're going to try a full body split. I didn't really come across this until recently. And when I say recently, I would say within 2 months, maybe 2 months or so. And before that, I experimented with upper lower. And before that, I was doing push-pull legs. And before that, I was training 5 days a week. Everything was split up, like how most people start, right? You do chest one day, back another, shoulder another, arms the next, and legs, that type of shit. There's a day off here and there in between those. Or you just run all 5 in a row, and then you go to the next 5 days. That sometimes happened. Yeah. I remember specifically 2021 summer when I just wanted to train, and I ended up training 14 days in a row or something like that. Yeah. So, but what are you gonna do? You learn from it, and constantly evolving, trying to find the best way to get the biggest, the fastest, is really what we're all trying to chase after. At least I'm trying to chase after that. And I've gotten all the way to 1 set for everything as often as I can train it, which is every other day. So, and I'm rotating my exercises, so right now I'm doing a incline dumbbell press one day, and then 2 days later, I'm doing a dip, and then 2 days after that, I'm doing a press again, and then 2 days after, I'm doing a dip. I could do 3 different exercises, but I just don't really like to do flies at the moment. I just don't get a big, I don't know what it is exactly, but I just like the stress stimulation that I get from the dip and the press. It might have something to do with the big stretch load that I can get from the presses and the dips, which I like. So just running this at the moment, and we'll see where it takes me. Right now, body weight is 159. I think I was around 156 2 months ago or something. Just slowly creeping up, eating 2650, 2700, somewhere around there. Trying to increase my body weight as slow as possible, because I don't want any extra calories, because that will just be put into fat, and then you'll get fatter sooner, and then you'll run out of room basically to continue your progressions on your lifts, and then you'll have to diet again, which is a missed opportunity to be in a good environment to build muscle. Can you build muscle in a deficit? I guess you could if you're brand new, or I'm sure that, I mean, there's scenarios. Being brand new is one of them. As if you haven't lifted weights, so you just start dieting, lifting weights, and you're going to put on muscle mass. Are there really any other, I guess, coming back from an injury, shit like that? But for the most part, it's not the best environment to be putting on muscle mass. You're really just peeling off the fat to see what you built when you were in a good environment to build muscle mass, which is a small increase of calories for a long period of time as you're progressing your lifts. So that's it for this one. Update will be coming soon on the full body training session and what other pros and cons I have to tell.